Hey guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the Nickelodeon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Robug from Playmates Toys. That's right, Playmates Toys is continuing on with more characters from the current Dimension X themed season of the Nickelodeon TMNT cartoon series. So let's go ahead and check out the evil henchman known as the Robug. As you can see, he comes in that same style Dimension X blister card packaging that we've seen for a lot of the most recent TMNT action figures. The blister bubble fully showcases the figure within, and we've got that really cool kind of new Dimension X graphic with the turtles in their spacesuits up there at the top. When you rotate the box around to the backside, we get a bio for the evil henchman of Lord Dreg, and down below that we get a look at several other figures in the TMNT lineup. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Robug outside of the packaging. So he's a very cool looking character. He's just got that very insect look, basically, which is going to be great. You know, it pairs up nicely with Lord Dreg and his insect army. He's a henchman, so this guy's basically an army builder. So this is great for all of you out there who want to build up a bunch of henchmen. That's one thing I think this line's done really good. We've got a lot of different army builders in here between the foot soldiers and the Krang, and now we've got some Robugs, so lots of different ways that you can build out your collections there. But let's go and take a look at the actual sculpt on this guy. Obviously, since he's insect-like, he's very skinny in comparison to most of the other figures. And he does have a very interesting design, very unique looking there. You can see he's got the tiny little bug head here. The eyes are interesting because they almost look like little horns poking off the front of his head, but they're like done in a bright green, while the majority of the rest of the body is done in kind of a pale green. The torso piece here is kind of neat because the paint job that's on there has a bit of a gloss to it. You can see the way it's shining under my lights. Most of the figure itself looks pretty flat based, but the chest there seems like it's got a bit of a gloss on it. So we got some nice red tones on there. There's some yellow on the chest. So he's kind of plain looking as far as the colors go. He's mostly green, but I don't necessarily think that it's because of a lack of paint on this guy for the most part, because he does seem like he's painted pretty much the way he's supposed to be. This is kind of where the back of the box always comes in handy, because if you look at the bio on the back of the box there, that's actually the prototype for the figure, and they're always painted a lot better than the final product. And it looks like the only part that he really is lacking the color seen on the back of the box is the yellow stripes on the wings. You can see that the wings were left just straight red on the action figure, but the rest of the figure looks like he turned out pretty close to the original prototype, so I guess that's always a plus. He's got a very interesting design. You can see on the left hand here, it's almost just like a long kind of like pincher or like a long insect-like leg. While on the right hand, it's got this really weird shape with kind of this little like red orb or red ball in the middle of it. So very cool looking design. The legs are well, classic Playmates. He's definitely got that old school Turtles posed foot going on there. So the right foot, you can see the legs kind of bent back, and he's got that little pose going on with his foot. And you can also see the way they like added the extra little plastic piece here so that the foot stays flat. But the left leg does always kind of pop up off the ground just a little bit. So he's always going to be in this position where he's got to be in that stance. It's not super dynamic, so it's not so bad. But yeah, you're always going to be in this type of a pose. So speaking about posing, let's go ahead and take a look at the articulation on this guy here. The head's on a ball joint, so you can see it can move all the way around. Look at that. We can roll it around, we can move it up and down, kind of side to side, works out pretty well. The shoulders are also ball jointed. You can see they're very unique because he's got those long, skinny kind of pegs there sticking out of the arms. So ball joints at the shoulders, so the arms can move all the way around. It's a great range of motion at the shoulders, actually. I really like that. But the rest of the arms, there's no articulation whatsoever. You can see it's completely static all through here. So you're going to be limited in the ways that you pose his arms around. He does have a waist twist there. You can see the nice cut at the waist, so you can turn the body left and right. And then we've got those same kind of ball joints at the thighs that we had at the shoulders. So the legs can move all the way around. They can swivel there, which is very nice. But again, no other articulation in the rest of the legs. So you're really going to be stuck with basically that same pose I showed you guys already, since we've got that foot bent in sort of like a walking position. Now, if we look at the back of the figure, that brings us to those wings that we looked at just a little bit there. And you can see it's a very long peg sticking off of his back, and each of the wings are attached there individually. So you can articulate each of the wings on their own, which is actually pretty cool because you can see there's couple different ways that you can pose the wings around, you know. You can spread them out like, you know, butterfly style there if you want, you know, 2 on top, 2 on the bottom. But, you know, you can always move the wings all the way up or move the wings all the way down. So that's kind of neat. It definitely adds to a few of the different ways that you can pose this guy around. Now, of course, this guy does not come with any accessories, and I don't necessarily know if he needed to. Maybe he doesn't actually have the ability to hold anything anyway, but yeah, you're just going to get the figure by himself, and I would like to see a few more accessories. I think that'd always be a nice thing. But there you go, guys. That's pretty much it. That is a look at Robug. So you can see we can pair him up with Lord Dreg here. You know, we can get that pair in there together. You can see he's a bit of a tall figure too. So he stands taller than taller than Lord Dreg. He stands taller than all of your turtles. But he's pretty cool. He's a new army builder to add to your set. And overall, he's a pretty neat looking figure if you're into this particular style, or if you want to army build, or, you know, give yourself an army for your Lord Dreg figure to do battle with your turtles. So the Robug is starting to hit store shelves right now, so happy hunting, my friends. And hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss out on a review. Until next time, my friends.